Okay. Read.
Oh, you got it? All right. Thank you. All right, here we go. So this is the agenda of the BC group. Group of committee name or committee name, Plan Council, BC Steering Group. The meeting date was February 24th, 2021. Meeting time was 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The agenda. Item 1, time allotted 3 minutes. Opening remarks, general comments. Item 2, 10 minutes. Ratification of last meeting minutes. Motion to approve and ratify minutes of February 17th, 2021. 3, 10 minutes. Ratification of councils. Region, provincial. Confirm members committee to becoming sovereign. 4, 5 minutes allotted time for provincial zoning, county zoning maps, and that was done by this group. 5, 25 minutes moving forward. Official notification certification. Settling a region via the regional settlement agreement. Adopting the conventions, formations, operations and functions and bylaws. County settlement agreement. Members to approve when ready to proceed. Annual election month. Term of office commencement date. County of Yale, Okanagan. Item 6, 20 minutes. Recruitment and vetting. Security of members and meetings. Confirmation of vetting of who to contact, vetting questionnaire, member form, onboarding. 7, 10 minutes. IT, council website. 8, 10 minutes. Branding, ID, logo, new ideas. 9, 15 minutes. Other new business, open floor. Screen shares. Attachment links, minutes of February 17th, 2021. Vetting questionnaire, membership form, official notification and certification, conventions, formation, operations and functions, bylaws. County settlement agreement. Save date was 2/23/21 at 2:23 p.m. File name. Go ahead. Minutes of meeting of the BC Council Steering Group held on February 17th, 2021 at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Placed by Zoom. Attendees: Christian, Laura, Cecil, Stacy, Sasquatch, Larry, TJ, Matthew, Amansa, Courtney, Zensho, Marcia, Sunny, Tracy, Dan, Tracy, Christian, Tom E, Elizabeth M. Absent: regrets, Jonathan, Sylvia, Ron L, and Cesar. Excused: Tom and Elizabeth M. Meeting moderators: Kirsten. Meeting recording secretary: Stacy. Call to order, opening remarks. The moderator allowed the attendees to have an open discussion on general topics, then called the meeting to order at 7:17 p.m. The moderator read the following statement to attendees to advise them of the private nature of the meeting. This meeting is private. Bearing false witness, misrepresentation, and posting inflammatory rhetoric in public forum is forbidden and shall be addressed in an appropriate manner. To eliminate all conflict and false allegations, is there anyone in attendance at today's meeting that is a member or agent of any law enforcement agency of the federal, provincial, municipal, city, or township agencies present? Is there anyone here that is not from the province on the call? If so, please disconnect from this call now. The moderator then took the floor and screen shared the agenda to give an overview of the evening's intended topics of discussion. The moderator then passed the floor to the recording secretary of the meeting to discuss rationale for professionalism and commencing a structure for meetings that brings everyone into the meeting with a comprehension of managing meeting flow, roll call, reason for reviewing minutes together, and the ratification process. Secretary referred attendees to the meeting guide sent to all in advance and requested that they all refer to the handout as we proceeded to the reading of the previous meeting minutes for approval. Motion MR number 00003. Approval and ratification of minutes of the last BC Steering Group Committee dated February 10th, 2021. Motion to approve, confirm, and ratify the minutes of the meeting dated February 10th, 2021. Motion by Sasquatch, seconded by Cecil. Motion carried. Okay. Additions to the agenda, none. Motion, Mr. Approval and ratification of the agenda of the last BC Steering Committee Group meeting dated February 10th, 2021. Motion not ratified. Matters arising outstanding from the previous meeting. Topic number 1, documents. Juror pledge to serve, Declaration of Independence, and Declaration of Unalienable Rights. Discussion, issues, concerns. The moderator screen shared the documents named above, explaining the purpose of how the documents connect to being a sovereign and being a member in good standing of the council currently underway. The participants had the opportunity to review the documents together with equal voice, correcting, clarifying for the sake of those new to the group, the purpose and reason why the completion of the 3-part package assists the group in the lawful process of creating the council. An open discussion ensued when the moderator allowed the group to arrive at logistical answers and or solutions pertaining to the witnessing of said documents to make them effective for submission to the Hall of Records. Based on the analysis of geographical data extrapolated from the watershed basin maps, an improvised meeting and witnessing process could take place in each region, with the exception of the far north, where Larry is residing. The group discussed how we could solve the problem of enacting Larry's witnessing of the documents via motion to approve a method for widely dispersed potential members. The group further discussed that in general, the witnessing process for documents could indeed occur for the meantime with a video of said member autographing their document first and middle name and adhering a thumbprint in red or blue ink over the autograph. This process was suggested to only be active until such time as the members and interim officers were officially ratified, and any future elections would occur in the future by way of normal balloted elections, motions, decisions, actions. Witnessing of Juror pledge to serve, Declaration of Independence, and the Declaration of Unalienable Rights. To approve the witnessing of the Juror pledge to serve, Declaration of Independence, and the Declaration of Unalienable Rights by live video on Zoom for prospective council members who live in widely dispersed areas, with the member's autograph to be witnessed by at least one live witness, with this procedure to occur on an interim basis until such time as duly elected officers are seated in their respective.
Did you guys hear that conversation?
What conversation?
Oh, they didn't hear that all, eh? Bach, you guys missed all that, eh?
Well, they're pledging.
Sorry.
They're pledging to serve.
Yeah.
But I'm just letting him read.
Hey, you guys, no, listen to me. I just had a phone call for like the last fucking 12 minutes, 10 minutes. Yeah. I'll let Bradley fucking tell you what the fucking conversation was about.
Hey, go ahead, Brad.
Fuck.
No, it was about the theft of Dallas's truck.
Oh, yeah.
And it was in a Jester.
Yeah, they're phoning back now. They're going to be filing charges against Kathy Center, stealing my truck, parking in the garage. The damages And like I said, Elizabeth, I even talked about the fucking stereo being ripped out of my fucking truck.
All right, go ahead.
Right. To approve the witnessing of the General Pledge to Serve Declaration of Independence and the Declaration of Unalienable Rights by live video on Zoom for prospective council members who live in widely dispersed areas, with the members' autograph to be witnessed by at least one live witness, with this procedure to occur on an interim basis until such time as duly elected officers are seated in their respective regions to later witness the executing of said documents. Motion by Sasquatch, seconded by Laura. Non-opposed, motion carried. Motion. Documents, General Pledge to Serve, Declaration of Independence, and the Declaration of Unalienable Rights. To approve in substantiality the form presented, drafted, and compiled for the purpose of establishing a membership of good standing document package for new members of the council proposed to be named the Planned Council BC. The three documents entitled General Pledge to Serve, the Declaration of Independence, and the Declaration of Unalienable Rights applying to sovereigns establishing rights on the land of the free and independent nation, equal province of British Columbia, as it is currently known. Motion by Cecil, seconded by Essential. Non-opposed, motion carried. Topic number 2, ratification of councils for submission to the Global Intelligence Agency, the GIA, receipt and review. Discussion, issues, concerns. The moderator gave the members of the group an overview of the process to submit the official documents to the GIA, outlining the processes they received in a recent telegram notice to Life Force members. The moderator advised the group that during the meeting, we would be ratifying our provincial council officers to meet the requirements of the checklist provided by the GIA councils, two councils and assemblies. The moderator asked if there were any questions or comments. There being no further questions, the moderator continued on the agenda. Motions, decisions, actions, none taken. Topic 3, elections of the interim officers of the Council of British Columbia or the Planned Council, BC, as proposed. Discussion, issues, concerns. The moderator moved the matter of electing the interim officers of the Council of British Columbia prospectively to be named in the future upon motion to approve the Planned Council, BC. The nominees were clarified for the officers' positions as follows: Moderator, Kirsten; Secretary, Stacy; Treasurer, Laura; Communications Secretary, Cecil; Sergeant at Arms, Sasquatch; Historians 1 and 2, Sasquatch and Laura; Information Technology, Matthew. Motions, decisions, actions. A motion to approve, confirm, and elect the interim officers of the Council of British Columbia. To approve, confirm, and elect the following sovereigns to the positions of Moderator, Kirsten; Secretary, Stacy L., and Treasurer, Laura; Communications Secretary, Cecil; Sergeant at Arms, Sasquatch; Historian 1 and 2, Sasquatch and Laura; and Information Technology, Matthew. Topic 4, recruitment and vetting. Discussions, issues, concerns. Discussion topics tabled for a later date. Motions, decisions, actions not applicable. Topic number 5, logo, seal, and website. Discussion, issues, concerns. The moderator moved onto the last agenda item, being the presentation of draft logo designs. The design most favored appeared to be the bear paw, but the group was invited to provide more input and assist in the final product. Motions, decisions, and actions. It was determined the group needed more time to research the symbolism and design of the logo. New business. An open general discussion occurred with attendees, but no new business was discussed. Meeting adjournment. There being no further business, the meeting was called to a close at 9:19 p.m. Stacy Lynn, recording secretary. Okay, next. All right, new member form. This is the description of what it's got. So you got the name, nickname, phone, text, opt-in, yes or no, last name, email, region, county, telegraph, opt-in, or yes or no. What issues of concern brought you to the decision to join the council? What are you most passionate about? What drives you to want to participate and help? Can you work independently? Are you an organizer, researcher, or task orientated? Questions. I'm interested in the following committees. Please check all that apply to your interest: media, education, banking, family services, other law and law enforcement, health and wellness. Food security includes agriculture and farming security. How did you hear about Plan Council BC? Are you a member of other similar organizations, assemblies, or councils? Are you currently an employee of any government or non-government organization? If so, please state which one. Thank you for your interest in making a difference by joining us at Plan Council, BC. We will follow up with you soon. Please provide a copy of photo ID. You may block out your specific address, leaving your town name visible so that we ensure in future to include you in the correct Euro pool. Please submit this form by email to the attention of the communications secretary at email. Okay, next. Official notification and certification known as British Columbia. An open public de jure council was convened of we, the sovereigns, retaining our sovereignty provided by our creator of the land and territory known as British Columbia, a free and independent nation province, as per the Statute of Westminster, December 11th, 1931. We, the Canadian sovereigns, declare our formal independence from the United Kingdom and the Imperial Crown and revoke all powers within the British North American Act of 1867 and Canada Act of 1982. C-11, also known as the Constitution Act 1982 and the British Columbia Act of 1996.
So pause there for a second. So there's been no agreements since 1901.
Right.
So Canada is a corporation. 1931 means nothing with the Westminster Act.
Yep.
They've never had any lawful agreement with the people, the sovereigns of North America in the West, right? It's very important.
Right.
So they're using documentation right here to enslave us because the Westminster Act did not free us. The Westminster Act gave the power and the Bilderberg Group to enforce more infliction of more pain on the sovereigns of all of the Corporation of Canada. That makes sense?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So here we go. Continue on. So, also known as the Constitution Act of 1982 and the British Columbia Act of 1996, and agreed to enforce the lawful transfer of all political, financial, and constitutional powers to the collective Canadian sovereigns of this nation called Canada. Oh boy. We declare that as a free sovereign nation already determined within international law through our collective right to self-determination, that we, the Canadian sovereigns, therefore do not need to ask any government or court permission to officially serve upon the UK government, UK Parliament, the Imperial Crown, the Privy Council, the City of London, together referred to as the foreign entities, and all the Canadian levels of government, are formal notice of severance from the British North American Act of 1867, the Constitution Act of 1982, and the British Columbia Act.
Pause. So you have to debunk this stuff. The 1867 is a BNA Act, the British North American Act. It's a dead copy. It never existed. Yep. So it's a lie. These people are doing rhetoric nonsense to prove a point. They're not proving a point. At no time at all had a foreign entity had the right to steal Turtle Island. And I'm going to speak now. I'm not First Nations. It's a lie. First Nations is a created organ, or whatever you call it. I am a natural sovereign person born in a land called Turtle Island. So there's been no treaty signed. They've put us under duress through a military complex. So where did they get the authority to create these documents? All of these documents that these people are reading off are fraudulent.
Yep.
They're using this entire document is fraud. They're using 1982, the Canadian Constitution Act, which is not a constitution. It's an act of parliament. So where is this document legitimate? And they're using so many words in this document show proof of evidence, which I respect, but there's been no treaty signed. The Jay Treaty was not signed. It's not even a treaty. It was a deal of trade. That was it. No different than the Canada Corporation. Canada is a corporation. It's a company like Coca-Cola, Walmart, A&W, McDonald's. They have no legitimacy to steal the wealth from Turtle Island. And that's very important. And 1931 means nothing. All it was an agreement like the Magna Carta. Agreement of the barons, how they're going to steal the wealth of Turtle Island. No person living in the Corporation of Canada had a say to their agreement. Okay, that's all I have to say there.
Okay.
Okay, continue on.
Okay.
Yep.
Continue on. Okay. So we declare that as a free and sovereign nation, already determined within. I already read that, did I not? Yes.
No, you
We
did
declare
not.
that. Oh, I did not. Okay. We declare that there is no valid constitutional framework residing in British Columbia, a free and independent nation province. Therefore, it will be the collective.
Pause. So now, the BNA Act of 1871 was forced upon the people of British Columbia. The Native Sons of Daughters rejected it in 1922 and in 1925. So this is very good. Russell Rogers was looking for a BNA Act of British Columbia that's supposed to be a constitution. They seized large mass area of Chilcotin Nation, Squamish Nation, the Islanders, and many other nations under a provincial legislation of their fiefdom without any ratification to the people. All the documents are fraud. That should be very present right now. There's no province of British Columbia. And there never has been. Chilcotin Nation does not recognize British Columbia. The only person that recognizes it is these barons of seizure of our land under duress. They created a fake document and claimed something that's not theirs. They cannot claim the sovereignty of the people. They cannot claim land under duress. Because they write a paper, it means nothing. The true sovereigns of British Columbia have always been sovereign. I just want to add that in there, 1871. Please continue, Dwight. Just I thought I'd throw that in there.
No, that's good. Okay, where were we here? Okay, I'm going to start at the beginning. We declare that there is no valid constitutional framework residing in British Columbia, a free and independent nation province. Therefore, it will be the collective decision of the sovereigns of British Columbia, a free and independent nation province, to decide if they choose to create a ratified constitutional framework unifying all the sovereigns of British Columbia, a free and independent nation province, established by virtue of this notice, or alternatively, collectively dispense with any overarching geopolitical structures and acts that deprive sovereigns of self-determination, self-responsibility, and self-sustainability. We declare that the unlawful acquisition of political and constitutional powers over the Canadian sovereigns and over our natural resources and assets by the foreign entities and the Canadian federal, provincial, and territorial governments with the passing of the Canada Act of 1982, UK, and the British Columbia Act of 1996 is null and void and is to be retroactive to having gained our complete independence with the enactment of 1931 Statute of Westminster. Whoa. We declare that no de facto governing body or agent of a de facto governing body without the express knowledge and approval of the sovereigns inhabiting the territory known as British Columbia, represented by the de jure councils, will enter into any contract, treaty, covenant, or the like without full and transparent public disclosure and or public referendum. We declare that the de jure council's duty is to be transparent, accountable, ethical, and egalitarian, that holds all sovereigns as the primary and sole benefactors of the natural resources and industries of these sovereign lands known as British Columbia. We further declare that through mutual discussion, agreement, and consent of and with other councils and assemblies, we will strive to create a stronger union of hearts and minds and systems based on natural law, principles of righteous living on the domain and lands known as Canada. Therefore, the sovereigns of the territory known as British Columbia, a free and independent province, desire to serve notice upon the world through any and all available media applied and freely dispersed, including the de facto Canadian Postal Service, should it be necessary, that we are now, as of this date of notice, establishing our sovereignty. The province currently known as British Columbia, a free and independent land, declares nation province status by the will of sovereigns. We renounce any affiliations with the International Monetary Fund, World Banks, United Nations, Federal Reserve, or all such organizations. We are not affiliated with Canada, Canada Inc., or the de facto government of Canada, British Columbia Inc., or the de facto government of British Columbia, or any other organization seemingly representing provinces. We reject, revoke, renounce, and remain independent from, against all foreign alleged encumbrances, claims against men, women, individuals, land, property, or industries associated with Canada Inc., and any or all corporate provinces and others, as debtors in any circumstance, past, present, future contracts, known or unknown, alleged to hold private individual sentiment, flesh and blood, living beings as collateral for same through fictional established names, government trust, religious trust, taxation, fees, permits, fines, ordinances, licensing, franchising, etc., and unlimited other implied contractual sources as so brought forth by agents and agencies affiliated with the same, and corporate entities internationally and worldwide, without full knowledge, disclosure, and express or implied consent of each and every individual. We adhere to nonpartisan self-determination source in natural law, of which shall be a permanent law form through lawful contractual agreements privately and publicly, and natural law shall be the remedy in all disagreement. Natural law equals do no harm. No assumptions and or presumptions shall be presented against, nor changes made to this notice. We further declare that the drafters of this declaration herein hold not licensed ownership, superior privilege, or rights or copyrights to any and all of this declaration. Okay. The conventions, formation, operations, and functions of the British Columbia General Jural Council bylaws of the sovereign members of British Columbia, a free and independent province. Whereas the Assembly, also known as or referred to as a council, being one of the most respected structures available to the sovereigns, which grants powerful civil rights to Canadian sovereigns. And whereas the concept of a council dates back to the Magna Carta circa 1215 as a means to confer rights upon the sovereigns, used in such notable clauses contained therein being, no free man or woman shall be taken or imprisoned or in any way destroyed, nor will we go upon him or her or send upon him or her, except by legal lawful judgment of his or her peers, according to the law of the land. And whereas when a government appears to be committing criminal, unconscionable, and unconstitutional acts, it can hardly be relied upon to bring charges and indictments against itself. Therefore, the sovereigns inhabiting the land of the territory known as British Columbia, a free and independent province of sovereigns, having been granted by the Creator Source care over all the earth to protect and restore the blessings of liberty for ourselves and our posterity, do hereby invoke our sacred right to peacefully assemble and do hereby establish this British Columbia General Jural Council of the sovereign inhabitants of British Columbia, a free and independent nation province. This British Columbia General Jural Council, being formed and existing by right according to natural law and lawfully assembled on the free dry land of British Columbia, a free and independent nation province, is not a part of any de facto incorporated body or bodies such as Political Action Committee, PACs, lobbyists, and any and all political parties. This council is nonpartisan in structure. It functions as an entirely separate and independent body, void of affiliation with any and all partisan connections, according to rights and powers granted by the Creator Source and vested in the sovereigns. This council is composed of free sovereigns who have bound themselves by a jural pledge of service to review, deliberate, and notice the unlawful acts and actions of public office holders. This General Jural Council members have sworn or affirmed to support, preserve, defend, and protect the rights of all sovereigns by autographing under pledge or affirmation the jural pledge to serve. The British Columbia General Jural Council, standing as guardians of British Columbia, a free and independent nation province, together with other councils on an equal footing basis, will form a free, open, and nonpartisan form of council promulgated for the purpose of seeking perpetual union with other sovereigns, drawing all sovereigns together in a peaceful and perpetual union of hearts and minds. The express meaning of the word de jure used herein is existing by right or according to law. Requirements and the qualifications for British Columbia General Jural Council membership. You want to move your screen up? Thank you. 1, be at least 16 years of age to join. 2, be domiciled on the land within the geographic boundaries of British Columbia, a free and independent region, for not less than 1 year immediately prior to joining the council. 3, exhibit common sense, intelligence, good character, and sound judgment. 4, cannot have been convicted of malfeasance in any public office, any felony, or any high crime where there is an actual injured party. Exceptions to the felony rule may be granted on a case-by-case basis, depending on the nature of the felony conviction, and must be approved by simple majority vote of 50% plus 1 by the British Columbia General Jural Council. Cannot be holding a title of nobility or be holding a membership of the Canadian Bar Association. Cannot be serving a de facto corporate elected public official. must autograph under oath, pledge, or affirmation the Declaration of Independence and the Declaration of Unalienable Rights, Blue Ink documents circa 2021. Duties, powers, and responsibilities of General Counsel. The British Columbia General Counsel reviews and evaluates procedures, methods, and systems used by all local and provincial governmental agencies to determine whether agency operations remain within lawful limitations of perceived constitutional de facto authority, and may also inquire into any aspect of such special legislative districts and joint power agencies. The jurisdiction of the British Columbia General Council extends to the operations of any federal agency presuming to have authority to operate within the geographic boundaries of British Columbia, a free and independent region, which may affect or infringe upon the unalienable rights of the sovereign people of British Columbia. The British Columbia General Council functions lawfully only as one body. No one individual council member acting alone has any power or authority. No one region has the authority or power to implement change or conditions to these bylaws on its own. The members in good standing attending the council meetings shall constitute the quorum of the council. Good standing means the member has all their documents up to date and on file with the recording secretary and is not under suspension or indictment for any cause or infraction. Meetings of this British Columbia General Council are private meetings. Non-members shall be sponsored by a member in good standing to attend council meetings. It is required all matters placed before the British Columbia General Council and votes taken must be kept as a continual record in the minutes of all meetings, regularly scheduled and special emergency scheduled meetings. The British Columbia General Council takes action by peaceful means in redressing all matters under review pertaining to all de facto government agencies. The end result of inquiries into civil matters may be released to the public in the form of a final report, but only upon written request. All matters voted on by the British Columbia General Council shall be decided by simple majority of 50+1, and all matters voted on shall be final in all matters. The British Columbia General Council serves these primary functions. 1, to examine all aspects of local, regional, and provincial de facto government operations by initiating its own investigations, placing their findings before a board of review and or a delegate from the Provincial Committee of Safety relevant to the topic matters for disposition. 2, to resolve disputes between local and regional de facto governmental agencies and the individuals living and working within the geographic boundaries of British Columbia, a free and independent province. 3, to conduct investigations and when the evidence is sufficient to issue presentments to the Board of Review and or the appropriate Committee of Safety delegates to initiate appropriate action by enforcement agencies responsible for prosecution. To oversee all de facto government agencies and the office holders to ensure compliance with natural law. To oversee all regional settlement councils and to ensure that their duties, qualifications, purpose, and scope conform to the British Columbia General Council as set forth within, except limited to the respective regional venue. Administrative oversight is placed under the British Columbia General Council to maintain concurrence, peaceful interactions, and harmony for all sovereigns on the free dry land of British Columbia, a free and independent province. Establish a 3-member board of review for infractions of these bylaws by any member failing to live up to this operation and functions by bylaws and exceptions of the British Columbia General Council. The current scope of review of the British Columbia General Council is to 1, inquire into the condition and management of our de facto government offices, agencies, and require the reset of the corporate style governance to the de jure style and function based on natural law. 2, investigate and report on the operation, financial accounts, and records of all de facto government officers and agencies to include the various departments and their operational directives. 3, inquire into any observed or reported misconduct of public officers, present and past. 4, inquire into any observed or reported criminal conduct. 5, to call forth an appropriate committee for investigation and give this committee the authority to investigate and review all issues presented to the council by any member in good standing and any issue from a non-member presented by any member in good standing. To establish a board of review with the power and authority to issue summons and subpoenas to accomplish a thorough investigation and sentencing of culpable parties. The Board of Review shall commence oversight and review of all the abuses perpetuated on Canadian sovereigns by the de facto corporate governments known as Canada Inc. and the province of British Columbia Inc. and all other sub-corporations thereof that have usurped our freedom through corrupt governance. Election of British Columbia General Council officers. The election of officers shall take place yearly in the month of, by paper ballot, or any acceptable voting structure approved by motion of the council members in good standing. To hold an office in the General Council, the member must be 18 years of age or older and a member in good standing for 6 months. Cannot be serving as a de facto corporate elected public official, cannot be holding the title of nobility, or be a lawyer or barrister holding membership of the CBA, must autograph under oath or affirmation the General pledge to serve. Global Declaration of Independence and Global Declaration of Unalienable Rights. Blue ink documents circa 2021. British Columbia General Council officers and their duties. The listed offices are to be filled by members that meet the requirements to hold office under these bylaws from 2 of the following year. The only exception is the Grand Jury Commissioner, which is an appointed position for a 3-year term for continuity of training and jury management. The appointment of a Grand Jury Commissioner will take place at the 2-year anniversary of the present office holder to ensure the new commissioner has a solid knowledge base to officially take office. 1. Moderator, foreman. Must make sure that the British Columbia General Council as a whole and each of the investigative committees functions effectively and efficiently. The moderator foreman shall have the authority to administer covenant oaths and affirmations, appoint boards of review, and shall appoint the British Columbia de jure Grand Jury Commissioner. 2. Moderator foreman pro tem generally supports the moderator foreman, and in the absence of the moderator foreman assumes all responsibilities of the moderator foreman. Excuse me. Recording secretary generally assists the moderator foreman in all matters while keeping an accurate record minutes of the proceedings of each meeting in the manner and scope of a scribe. Handles the incoming and outgoing general purpose mail and snail mail, or recording secretary pro tem. Generally supports the recording secretary, and in the absence of the recording secretary, assumes all responsibilities of the recording secretary. 5. Communication secretary handles electronic communications and assists recording secretary with electronic incoming and outgoing communications, email. And the communication secretary pro tem generally supports the communication secretary, and in the absence of the communication secretary, assumes all responsibilities of the communication secretary. Audio visual 2 pro tem. Visual 2, sorry. Works with the video recordings to ensure safety and non-designated personnel from changing and corrupting the record. Assists in maintenance and storage of digital data records on secure service. Audiovisual 2 Pro Tem manages your website address, website security, posting of data, manages the domain certificates. Treasurer handles all financial operations, including the reimbursement of jurors and payments on expenses of the grand jury as a whole. Must keep accurate records and submit a report to the British Columbia General Jury Council at each meeting. 10. Chief Bailiff, operation, optional to separate duty from Sergeant at Arms. Excuse me, I gotta get a drink. Pause. Optional to separate duty from Sergeant at Arms. A bailiff is an officer of the British Columbia General Jury Council and is elected by the members of the council. The chief bailiff serves as the chief law enforcement officer for the British Columbia General Jury Council. Duties include overseeing the security of the British Columbia General Jury Council, as well as administrating security and implementing emergency management plans to ensure the safety of all members. Okay, pause. Let's see, okay, or 11, Sergeant at Arms. The Sergeant at Arms is an officer of the British Columbia General Jury Council and is elected by the members of the council. The Sergeant at Arms serves as the chief law enforcement officer for the British Columbia General Jury Council. Duties include overseeing security of the British Columbia General Jury Council, as well as administrating and issuing all staff and support identification badges for security, and implementing emergency management plans to ensure the safety of all members. 12, Historian is the keeper of all council records and is elected by the members of council. The historian is responsible for ensuring the continuity of council records and takes the utmost care of registering all records created by council for archive and works hand in hand with the other officers. The historian also assists in acquiring historical library certified copies of all documents pertaining to constitutions developed in the past. 13, British Columbia de jure Grand Jury Commissioner appointment. Shall oversee the jury member selection process, provides the orientation and training for the newly selected grand jury members, may function as an advisory consulate to inhabitants of any British Columbia region establishing a de jure grand jury under a county settlement covenant, coordinate initial information meetings, and assist with recruiting British Columbia grand jury commissioners, are by appointment and is appointed for 3 years. Removal of a member from a British Columbia General de jure Council. Verified failure to exemplify high standards of behavior and attitude within the philosophy and the direction of the British Columbia General Jury Council, or violation of these bylaws, or failure to maintain status of member in good standing in any way will result in immediate suspension of all the members' privileges and immediate removal from any office held by the member at that time. Disregard for the spirit and letter of the jury pledge to serve shall be grounds for the member to be investigated and evaluated by a 3-member review board. Removal from the council may be effected by the recommendation of the Board of Review and voted on by the council members. These review boards will be appointed by the moderator foreman for that incident only and dissolved after the review and decision is acknowledged by the council. County local settlement administrative oversight. The local level county councils will establish established duties, qualifications, mission, purpose, and scope will conform to the British Columbia General Jural Council guidelines as set forth herein, except limited to the. Can we pause there for a minute? Because I have something to say about this.
Dictatorship.
Go ahead,
Total
Dallas.
Boy, you can go first, Dwight. It's a total dictatorship.
Yeah, because all I've seen here is they're going under another hierarchy.
Yep.
I read
100%.
that into this. That's a hierarchy.
Yep.
It's not bottom up, it's top down.
Yep.
Exactly what they got here. They're describing a top down government.
And they decide who are on the board of directors with their council.
Yeah,
Who are their council? No freedom again.
that's right. That's exactly
Oh,
what I read there.
Oh, 100%. They say all this, they're saying many right words, but when you read it, you go, okay, here you got their board of directors, their council. Where did the council come from? And then they bring in direct democracy at 51%.
Yeah.
Which is total bullshit. So
Yeah.
now we're back into enslavement.
Yeah.
The whole entire document is written for enslavement.
Enslavement.
And the average person, they're not going to see this.
No,
And they
you're
won't.
right. They won't.
Oh, yeah.
They're educated enough.
Elizabeth, what do you think?
Which one?
Well, the last 4, 5, or 8 paragraphs.
Yep.
Total enslavement.
Well, I'll tell you
They're
this,
using-
is that when you're sitting
Yeah.
back listening to this, it all sounds really good because to the average person that I know that I have been teaching, this all sounds really good. And the
Yeah,
work
but
is
it's
all
not.
done for them and they don't have to do anything. They'll jump on board like this, like it was a gravy train.
And that's the problem. It's total enslavement again.
It doesn't matter if you say that, Dallas. Anybody
know.
reading, anybody else listening to this would not see that. Even Larry didn't see it.
Oh,
And
no,
he was
actually,
right
Larry
amongst
did.
it all. Now they've changed from common law to natural law, which is going to attract even more now.
Yep. But there's
Oh,
no
because
natural
they're
law
not-
in here at all.
They're not
So-
using natural law. They put it in there, but that's not what they're using.
No, according to what they're using is top down. Yeah, well, they're in charge.
yeah.
They decide. And it even says in here that the council, this Jural Council, will decide on the administrators.
Why do
Yeah.
you need a sergeant? Here's what.
Just wait, let me finish.
Why
Let
do
me
you
finish.
need-
You asked me a question, let me
Okay.
finish speaking.
Sure.
Okay, so the Jural of Councils have said when an administrator or a county or regional administrators go outside the bylaws, who creates the bylaws? Who made the bylaws? That would be my question. And so if they go outside of those bylaws, they said that they will be immediately terminated. Who decides that? Okay, they said they have a grand jury or they have a jurors. So is it the councils? Because I know that in their last document, all of the council members were sworn in as jurors. So they again decide the outcome if they're guilty or not guilty. But yet, isn't that putting them in a compromised position because they're the ones who go in to make sure that they don't break the laws, but yet they're judging them too?
The whole document is the whole document is Freemason.
That's what bothered me. I was happy to see they were going with natural law, no harm, but they don't really establish. They don't establish what natural law is and who is going to uphold natural law.
Right.
They have everything in the document is to perceive them as they're going to do a great thing. This whole document's written by the Freemasons.
Well,
And
it
as you
doesn't
go through it,
matter.
you go,
Nobody
okay.
understands Freemasons, Dallas. You can't explain it that way. They're not, the average person is not even, all those people in Life Force will never see it that way.
No, they won't.
You have to use a different language.
Yep.
You can't
Yep.
use Freemasons. Nobody understands Freemasons. They could give a shit about Freemasons. I'll tell you that right now. It goes right over top their heads.
So
They
the document
don't
is written.
even think about it.
The document is written for enslavement.
The
Yep.
document
They
is
make a-
written by the United States. That's what it's written by. This is where they got most of their information from. They're following a box of documents that were sent in from Florida and New York, and they've
Yep.
adopted it into a Canadian version. That's what
Wow.
they've done.
Well,
They've changed
Pretty
it
much,
from
yep.
common law in the States, because we've been banging them up about common law, to now
Yep.
natural law, but yet all the bureau councils have all the say. You notice it's not an interim position,
No, it's not.
that this is a permanent position for all these bureau councils.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was only mentioned, like, you can just see it as you're going through, because they're in charge, they're in charge, they're in charge. So the average person it's gonna miss them, Dallas. Totally. Even if you say this is an enslavement document, you better prove how is it enslavement, but you can't say Freemasons. Prove to me this is an enslavement document by using words that someone of the average would be able to understand, that know nothing about Masons, that know nothing about, let's just
Anything.
say the enslavement of, you call the whole Admiralty law thing. They're just learning this all. Brand new. They come in and they get this presented to them and they say, well, this is better than what we have. And they're willing to sacrifice what they have to get something better. That's how they'll look at this. So you have to tell me, how does this document enslave us in a simple language?
Well, from the beginning, they select the councils. Council members are them. They are the elite. And if anybody questions their authority, will be terminated under their bylaws, which we can't see their bylaws. So freedom of choice has been removed. It works in a mannerism of they have control again, and the people will suffer. And if they can't see that in the writing of this document, straightforward. Why do we need a sergeant of arms? Ridiculous. The local town, local community hires honorable people. They individually will protect and preserve sovereignty or the Constitution. Everything in this Constitution is 100% slavery again. It's written in a format of they say the right things, but when you go through it, it's a total slave document, 100%. They're not giving you anything. They're taking from you. So they have to really read these words. This document was written by the same elite parasites and transponded it into all the nations to give you, they want you to give consent to them so that you have no choice. There's no delineation of who these people are. The creator of the document is no different than the Freemasons that created the United States fake constitution. They set it up, created a government themselves, enforced their rule of pain and suffering on you. And this document is the same way. The authority does not come from the people. The authority of this document is they choose who's going to govern you. And
they do have
they
a
may
voting
use words-
system, Dallas. Wait, they do have a voting system in here. So what they have done here is exactly what we do today. They are allowed to have a say when they vote. In here, it says in the council, they do have a voting system. All right. And every 1 month, a year or whatever, whenever the members of council come up, then the sovereigns have a say of who they want in that position. So they do have a say there. But like I said, they don't have a say about anything else.
Well, they have a voting system, but the voting system they created is not really a voting system. when you read it. The
Well,
council,
it's exactly like today. The only time you have a say is when you vote that one person in.
so their voting system is totally fraudulent, again, like usual.
Well, the
You're
voting
not
system
voting.
doesn't give the sovereigns the say. It just gets
That's
them
right.
the permission to vote. That's it.
So it's the same, it'd be the same system, but worse.
Yeah, it's like today, what we're doing today. The only thing we have a
Yep.
say today to do is to vote. That's it.
Yep. Yep.
And that's what this document is saying. I read their
There's
voting
no-
system. That is what it's saying.
There's no, you can't challenge them on anything on this document. Yes,
Oh.
if you want to become, if you're one of the elite, that's what it's set up for. The bar association, they will select, and their representatives will be the only people that actually become the council.
Yep.
There's no protection. There's no protection mechanism. They'll use words like natural law, but they
So
don't.
I have a question then. They said they have a constitution. What constitution are they using?
There's no constitution here.
It says constitution. It says if you break the constitution, you'll be accountable. So what constitution are they using?
That's what I want to know.
Is it in the regional
no
settlement agreement?
Where is
Well,
the Constitution they got?
Like I said, that they're just prolonging the agony to the sovereigns. and
No,
making
but
them
where is
believe
this constitution? I have not seen it.
They have none.
Well, they mentioned it in here. You read it, Dwight.
Yeah, I know.
So can we
That
go
was
to
in
the
the
next one?
preamble.
I want to go to the next. Do you want to finish reading it or do we need to?
No.
Okay, I want to go to the next. I want to see this constitution that they're talking about
Okay.
because I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, I haven't either.
This is the preamble, the notice, authority, Article 1. Here we go.
Okay, Article 1. By source creator granting us freedom by unanimous decree, the local sovereigns and local peaceable lawful council and settlement agreement in British Columbia, a free independent nation province, a provincial member in equal footing with other free and independent provinces sitting within the known domain of Canada, set forth of the following affirmations. Section 1. Local sovereigns centered in creator source live on local land and use way land in sovereign jurisdiction affirmed by the authority of the Statute of Westminster, December 11th, 1931, and beyond the reach of predator others, and also living in friendship and peace. Okay, see, they keep going back to this Spartan Magna Carta and all this stuff, and they're using that.
The entire paragraph you read is nonsense.
Yeah,
It's just like it's just uses bullshit. It's all bullshit.
Well, that's
So
not
maybe-
going to work. You have to give a good reason.
Well,
Bullshit
it's meant-
doesn't work with people.
Well, look,
You have to give a good reason.
Dwight, read the first paragraph.
Okay. Section 1. Local sovereigns centered in creator source live on local land and use way land in sovereign jurisdiction affirmed by the
Okay,
authority of the.
Pause. Right there.
Yep.
The local sovereign, way property. What does that mean? To the
No
average
idea.
person? It
Nothing.
means nonsense.
What does wayland mean?
I have no idea.
You don't know what wayland means?
No, what does that mean?
The
The
land
land
far
is
away.
not yours. The land is owned by the corporation. You're allowed to use the land. To use it in a
Oh,
different
it's sort
form.
of like crown land.
Crown land.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So they're just okay.
So
So
they're
that's
saying
what they
here,
want.
use
We're
of wayland.
gonna go through the whole paragraph here
Okay.
slowly. Okay.
Wow.
Read off from that.
Okay. Now, local sovereigns by local common consent do name,
Okay.
affirm, or
Pause right there. local consent. That means fiefdom,
Mm-hmm.
local consent. So again, they're breaking your inalienable rights.
Mm-hmm.
So 51% of the direct democracy or democracy can decide yes or no against you. Okay, read on.
Okay. Do name, affirm, ordain, establish, and continue this local settlement agreement in the county of Yale and other county regional settlements and agreements of British Columbia, a free and independent nation province and nation Canada settlement as their absolute.
Okay, there you go again. Local agreements to local counties to a thing called Canada. There is no Canada. Canada is a corporation like McDonald's and A&W. So you cannot make a legal agreement or lawful agreement with your the only agreement you can make is with your community. That's where it has to start locally.
Mm-hmm.
And if the other community doesn't like it, then they have to prove that it goes against unalienable rights. The land does not belong to the crown or the way. It belongs to the people.
Right. Wow. Okay. Continue this local settlement agreement in the county of Yale and other county regional settlements.
Okay, stop, pause. Yale is not a county, it's a town. So Yale cannot predict what the other communities want. The sovereign from Mexico, or let's say Tijuana, or Mexicali, or Holland, Saskatchewan, or Bethune, Saskatchewan, or Lloydminster, Alberta, cannot decide any jurisdiction to any other jurisdiction.
Right.
Take one.
Okay. A free and independent nation province and nation Canada settlement.
Again, Canada is not a settlement. Canada is a corporation owned by McDonald's, A&W. Oh, sorry. Canada is owned by Walmart. Oh, sorry. Canada is owned by Bill Gates.
Dallas, I looked it up, and there is a county of Yale.
Yes, there is. Yep.
So why would you call it a town?
The county of Yale is no different than the county of Cascadia. Okay? Make sense?
Yeah, but you just said that there's no such thing, that Yale is a town.
No, the county of Yale cannot predetermine the entire province of British Columbia.
No, they can't.
Makes sense.
No, you're right. Sorry, I misunderstood.
Okay. So let's look at the like this whole document is just broad.
Well,
So
you don't say that. Let's
you've got
pick it apart.
you've got the
strategically.
you asked me. So Chilcote Nation is actually a nation.
Right.
The Mohawk Nation is actually a nation. The Cree Nation is actually a nation. So we're excluding nations of 300, 200 years ago, 100 years ago, because they declare their sovereignty. They cannot declare their sovereignty on a nation. The people have to agree upon an agreement on a constitution of themselves.
Yes.
So each local town is the actual constitution. Then every county is a constitution to bring no harm on natural law. This, like I said, this entire document was written by, well, you said I can't use the word Freemasons, but I'll put it down. The entire document is written by slaves.
Yep.
They're trying to enslave you. Okay, read the next paragraph.
Oh, sorry. I'm just looking. I had.
Where were we? Okay, where are we here? Yeah. Okay, I got it. Okay, as an absolute dominion belonging to each sovereign local people living on local
Okay.
land.
As an absolute dominion, as an absolutely will corrupt you.
Yep.
Absolutely will absolutely corrupt you. It's not an absolute. This is all legalese language. Absolute.
It is. It is. I
Yep.
agree
Okay,
with
well,
you.
You're right. You know, Elizabeth asked me to go through the whole document. Read on.
Okay. And then, okay, a free and independent nation
Well, before
province.
you go on, then I got a question for you. If you say
Sure.
absolute is totally wrong, then how come in natural law we use absolute truths?
We use truth. But
No,
what they're using,
in natural law it's described as
Hold it,
absolute
hold it, hold it.
truth.
We're using that word in two different contexts here, though.
100%, 100%. Read
I'm
the
just-
nine.
That is what some people might
No,
ask.
no, no. They're using. Listen to me. They're using words. It's called trickery. So
Yep.
with the paragraph, the 9 sentences before absolute. Go back and read them again.
Okay. And that starts from now. Non-local sovereigns by local common consent do name, affirm, ordain, establish, and continue this local settlement agreement in the county of Yale and other county regional settlements and agreements of British Columbia, a free and independent nation province and nation Canada settlement as their absolute accumulated legacy prepaid with blood taken from sovereigns centered ultimately in creator source who came before and granted local people indisputable freedom. Local regional settlement agreement in the county.
Okay, pause there.
Yep.
Pause there. Elizabeth,
Yes.
what did that entire sentence say?
The one that he just read?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, there the absolute was used in a very different way. Okay. And another thing is that I didn't really agree with ultimately. I don't like that word. All right.
Nope.
Very much so.
The entire
And I don't like
sentence.
the word indisputable before freedom.
Okay, read that sentence again.
Local sovereigns.
Wait.
Yep.
Yep. Read it again.
Local sovereigns by local common consent do name, affirm, ordain, establish, and continue this local settlement agreement in the county of Yale and other county regional settlements and agreements of British Columbia, a free and independent nation province and nation Canada settlement as their
There you go.
absolute.
Okay, that's not
Pause right there.
that's not truth. There.
No, it's all the whole entire sentence is like it's like you go back and look at the BNA Act. Okay.
Yeah.
The longest sentence in the world. That sentence there that they just created
Is the longest sentence.
is the
in this
longest.
document.
It's the longest sentence I've ever heard, and the average person will never understand it.
That's why
That entire sentence.
Mm-hmm.
That entire sentence is totally inept and also very
It's
well,
badly
fuck, I'll call it
written.
what it is.
It's badly
It's
written.
no, it's not badly written. It's written really well, actually.
It's
It's going to give you
misleading.
nothing and take away your freedom.
Oh,
Mhm.
No,
Well-
but it is. So
Yeah.
whoever wrote that sentence was a Freemason. You got to remember, these words are so important, and the average person is not going to understand that sentence.
No.
Nope.
That sentence is a fucking mess. I'll say what it is. It's a
Mhm.
deliberately, it's a deliberate conjecture of words put side by side that actually means nothing to the average person, and they'll read through it and go, what does that mean? But to anybody that can think,
The Charter of Rights.
yes, that one sentence right there. See, what they do is they put out good things, and then they put the shit in there to enslave people. And the average person is not going to read this entire document. This is why it's so important to document is so short, so right to the point. A, B, C,
Mhm.
D. A, I'm free. B, I love my family. C, I am protected. D, we work together. This entire document is none of that. Okay,
No.
go on, right?
Okay. Section 3, local regional settlement agreement in the county of Yale, one with the spirit of unity and freedom.
No, you forgot number 2.
Oh, did I?
Yeah,
Go down. All right. Section 2, local regional settlement agreement in the county of Yale affirms natural inherent right, one with the spirit of unity and freedom as the absolute dominion belonging to each sovereign. Local people living on local land in local regional settlement agreement in the county of Yale. In
Again,
sovereign,
so again, what gives them the dominion on the land?
I don't know.
Read it again.
Okay.
If I can read it again.
Whole thing?
there you
Yeah,
go.
no, that
Absolute dominion.
absolute dominion.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
you have to follow their laws, even though they're not natural laws. Their selected few of the council. This is totally 100% UN Agenda 21 fucking
Yep.
programming.
Okay.
Can you read on?
Absolute. Okay. As the absolute dominion belonging to each sovereign, local people living on local land and local regional settlement agreement in the county of Yale, and sovereign affirmed by the authority.
Pause right there. How come there's no mention that the sovereign own the land, the air, the water, the everything? Not once in this entire document.
Well, it's
This is
coming.
a total. Okay.
Let's find out. Okay, affirmed by the authority of the Declaration of Independence circa 2021 and beyond, and friendship in peace. Section 3, local regional settlement agreement in the county of Yale, one with the spirit of unity and freedom, is the free exercise of all natural inherent rights, which is unlimited in scope and is our lawful inheritance to be defended and protected from abuse by all means. A, free spirit, free will with free choice is originally one with the spirit of creator source, and by blood caused slavery of any kind is an abomination to all natural inherent rights. Each sovereign local people living on local land in sovereign jurisdiction rejects slavery in any form, and we reject legal fiction, oxymorons, and libel of any kind, including ex-felon, status quo, by cause of cruel and unusual punishment. B, wow. Personal empowerment, prosperity, and responsibility of the family of sovereigns remains one with the spirit of creator source, and by cause personal empowerment, prosperity, and personal responsibility of family continue beyond the reach of bogus barriers or restrictions erected by de facto provincial and federal agency agents and predator others. This is all goobity gawk. Section
Boy,
subject to
Well,
existing.
it's a bunch of nonsense words.
Yeah, it is.
basically
Back what they're trying
telling
to say.
you that yes, you have personal freedoms and you have a personal will, and yes, you have personal choice, but it's not really telling you. It's suggestion.
Yeah. And it's also very much deception.
It's suggestive. It's not saying you will have the right. You will have the free choice. You will have the free will. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Right.
suggestion.
They're giving you the lines of bullshit, and they're not giving you any truth. It's
Well,
just
no,
a bunch of
they're giving
words.
half truths, Dallas. They're giving half truths.
They're half truths.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
They're half truths.
Well, but you know me, right? When I read
I
something
know
like
what
that, I
you're
go,
saying. It has to be full or all, but they are giving half truths here. They are.
you
Yes,
have the right.
But
You have the right.
those half truths are only meant to deceive. That's the
Well-
thing about liars.
Okay, let's read on.
Okay. Personal, family, continue beyond the reach of bogus. Okay, we already did that.
Yeah.
Section 4. Subject to existing and prior rights, land in the local community settlement agreement and County of Yale uses the survey tract. Métis
Me.
and bounds
Wow. Sorry, go
as
ahead.
boundary County of Yale, and as soon as practical, be defined and recorded in the county records library. You had a comment. Go ahead. What was that comment?
No,
Go back to the beginning. They said Métis.
yeah,
Subject to existing and prior rights, land in the local county settlement agreement and County of Yale uses the survey tract. Métis and bounds as boundary for County of Yale, and as soon as practical, be defined and recorded in the county records library. Article 2, Section 1, settlement in the County of Yale is fundamental to local law in sustaining the free exercise of
So,
right.
so is that
local
is that-
law?
I don't
is
get
that-
this.
is that a script file with the Métis?
Like local
Wow.
law? Whose law? The Admiralty law?
Well, there's no law there. They're saying Métis law, and Métis law was script law, right?
Yep.
They had two choices. They either went along and signed the script, or they got killed.
Right.
McDonald's sentenced
Here
17,000.
it says, it said in section 1 here in article 2 is all about their freedom of prosperity, their property and their inheritance and everything. So read that one.
Article 2.
Section 1 there in article 2.
Okay. Settlement in the County of Yale is fundamental to local law in sustaining the free exercise of
Nope.
right.
Sustaining is UN Agenda 21 word. Sorry,
No, you're right.
one.
Of right of sovereigns and families to exercise, defend, and protect their property, their liberty, their prosperity, their posterity, their inheritance, and their existing political rights from
Political
Yeah.
rights.
yeah, there you go. They're just taking everything away from you right there. From abuse by evil intent by public or private persons or predator others who would invade, attack, attach, steal, pillage, plunder, divert, redistribute, or spoil any part of the prepaid absolute accumulated legacy.
Absolute, again, accumulated legacy. Wow.
And we know where they're coming from is this.
Well, I'd like to know, like I said,
I'd
this
like to
document.
know what local law, all right, that's what I'd like to know, what their local law is and what is meant by Métis and bounds boundary.
Yeah, I like to know that too.
And I'd also like to know existing political rights.
Mm-hmm.
Please define that for me.
Yep.
That's what I would like.
Yep.
Okay, Article 3.
Article 3, Section 1, local county settlement agreement in the County of Yale endows, authorizes, and establishes limited and peaceful lawful councils open to each and every sovereign on local land without exception to freely provide responses in a lawful manner on all issues related to their rights and liberties. Local common law action requires an injured
Whoa,
party.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Whoa, 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 what the
Local
fuck was that?
common law? I thought they were following natural law.
There you go. See, they're not even consistent in what they're doing, are they?
No, the whole
How
entire
is that
document is
possible?
just,
How could no one catch that? Or maybe it's a misprint. Let's
I
read.
no,
doubt
it's
it.
not.
Let's just read on.
They've made this document
By the way,
long-winded.
let's read on. You never know because they've done other things here. That doesn't really mean they're not.
Yeah,
consistent. Let's just
common
read
law
on.
requires an injured party or originator. 1, proper use of peaceful lawful counsel is essential to the free exercise of all rights. 2, or B, local settlement in the County of Yale regional settlement endows, authorizes peaceful lawful councils limited by simple, understandable rules and procedures consistent to the local county settlement agreement in the County of Yale. C, wow.
Well,
Hang
that
on.
whole sentence. Whole sentence. Who is a lawful agreement for the settlement?
That's what I want to know.
Yeah, me too. So go on.
Local county settlement agreement in the county of Yale region authorizes peaceful lawful councils of limited duration by cause of originator, and each and every council is dissolved after service of lawful purpose at the end of term. D, local county settlement agreement in county of Yale region authorizes a library of records and the selection of moderator and recording secretary from among the first 13 or more witnesses to arrive and volunteer to perform the functions necessary to create accurate records. C, local county settlement agreement in county of Yale directs any truthful documents of abuse to rights and liberties as witnessed by local peaceful lawful sovereigns. Assembled shall be entrusted to local justice court or under rules of distributive justice.
Okay. Justice court.
What is that? What does
Who's
that
co-
mean, justice court?
I have no idea what I mean, to me, that's we're gonna pick a bunch of Freemasons again, the bar association to decide the
Hey, no,
ruling of the
stop,
court
stop,
case.
stop. People are not gonna understand that language. Justice court.
What is a justice court?
That is what we should find out. What is a justice court? What law does it fall under? Common law? It's not natural law.
No,
That's not natural law.
that's not a natural law system.
No, that isn't. So it's
Oh.
obviously has to be common law then.
Yep. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
That's what I would be thinking, right? Because
Mhm.
Well, we'll call what it is. We'll call it admiral law.
Admiralty law.
Admiralty
Yeah.
law? Well, I'm gonna look it up
Well,
and
of
see
course.
what
Well,
justice
what's 100%?
court
It's
means.
common law was the basic law of the kings.
Yeah.
So the kings create common law to ensure their fiefdoms, right? So
Okay, just hang on here. I found the meaning of it. Go ahead and explain it. Go ahead.
well, okay, what do you got for explanation in that one?
Justice courts means having a jurisdiction to hear a violation of misdemeanors, criminal or civil violations, civil lawsuits. This is admiralty.
That's admiralty.
This is all
What did
admiralty.
I say? What did I say at the very beginning of it?
You did
Yep.
say that. Well, now will you-
All I did, you know, I mean,
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
did. Yeah.
No, I said admiral law. So again,
all right.
no.
There's-
We can move on.
They've gone from natural in the beginning to common law in the middle.
No, they got your attention on natural law. And
Right.
now they're bringing you into their admiral law again. All these Masons are pretty good, man.
Okay,
Oh, wow.
let's read Article 4.
Article 4, Section 1, local county settlement agreement in the county of Yale settlement establishes limited de jure grand jury from local councils, open to each and every local sovereign on the land after workshop training without exception.
Okay, what does worship mean?
The
Workshop.
Workshop, he meant. He was misworded.
Okay, go on.
Workshop training. So, other words, they have to be trained before they go on to their grand jury.
Yes. Without exception.
Without exception.
So they have to be
What-
trained to be told.
So what they're
What
doing
to
is this.
do and what to look
So
for.
no, what this means is this: you have to pass the bar examination before you can
It's
be.
not the bar
part of the
examination.
jury.
They're going to be told what to look for.
You're going to be told what to do, what to say, how to look for it.
Yeah.
So that's I call that the bar.
Well, you got to
Yep.
explain that. People aren't going to understand that, Dallas.
And that's what it is.
You understand it because you've been in it all these years. But anyone listening to this, they're not going to know what is he talking about the bar.
Okay, so those people are selected. Those people are trained to ensure the fiefdom will exist. It's like a bar attorney of the lawyers. They ensure the Crown Corporation or the way of the land retains to them, and your jurisdiction as a sovereign is removed. That make sense?
Well, yes, and they're using kind of the grand jury method to get this. Ah,
Well, they're not even using the grand jury on this. They're using,
well,
they're
they
using
said
their,
these jurors are going to be trained to sit on the grand jury.
well, they'll use president, right?
Well, they'll be
So
trained to sit on the grand jury, and they'll be trained to do
they'll be
investigation.
trained to, they'll be, so these people will be selected. The brightest minds will be mentored to ensure that their system maintains its status quo. So even if you have a case against them, you're going to lose.
Well, and then they
The
jump
state of
back
Atlanta.
into natural. Well, then they they jump right back into natural law again.
Okay, go on.
Okay, where are we here?
You're free
Okay.
to provide.
Freely provide.
The response
Okay,
in a
to
lawful
freely
manner.
provide the response in a lawful manner on all issues related to the rights and liberties, including the use of subpoena and summons for truth, and the use of findings of fact, conclusions of law in construction, and presentation of findings or presentments as findings of truth and or other documents. This grand jury is endowed with the authority to deliberate and issue a no bill if insufficient evidence exists, and a true bill when sufficient evidence exists, and to
So
deliver
it's-
these presentments
what?
to proper judicial authority for further action.
Oh, so they don't even have authority.
No,
This judicial committee has the authority.
yep,
Wow.
yep. So they've taken all the power away from the sovereigns and put it into a few select hands.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
they put-
exactly what this is
they,
doing.
they put it into the bar again.
Yeah,
Like I said, this is all Freemason work. This document, and you know, the average person is going to read this. They've made it so convoluted and so long-winded. The average person is not going to read it all.
no,
Well,
they're
it's
not.
14 pages, and a lot of people won't read this.
No.
Most people won't get past page 1.
Yeah. And everything is about natural law in the very beginning, so that's all they'll read. Oh, this is good.
So they've deceived everybody again.
Yeah.
100%. Okay, keep going, Dwight.
Okay,
Like I said,
yep. Proper use of instance matter specific to your grand jury and local councils is essential to the free exercise of all rights. Runaway grand jury witch hunts are prohibited. Natural law.
There you
They are
go.
back again. Action requires an injured party originator claimant under full disclosure of affidavit and bond.
What? Okay.
Wow.
That's not natural law.
That's not natural law at all.
There is no affidavits and bonds in natural law.
No. Local county settlement agreement in the county of Yale authorizes 12 members and 1 alternate member to form a lawful de jure grand jury from the local jural council representing a cross-section of ages, occupations, and sovereigns living on the land and willing to serve in jurisdictions in peace and friendship, not limited by bogus barriers erected by de facto governments of this county and the province of British Columbia.
So they had 12 members plus
Plus
one. Why
Yep.
another member? Because it's not unanimous.
Right.
They have to break it. And they need
Yep.
one to break the tie because it's 6-6.
Yep. Yep.
Wow, that's not natural law.
That's not natural law. That's not even close.
No. So they're basically calling it natural law, but they're making it different. They're not even following the true factors of it,
Nope.
principles of it.
That's right. They're picking what they want.
Sort of like the Bible. You pick what you want to live by, right?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
good. Continue. Sorry.
Okay. D. Local county settlement agreement and the county of Yale authorized selection of moderator, acting, signing as foreman and or forewoman and clerks for tallying minutes, recording, filing correspondence, etc., rather than court clerk, court recorder, or bring these legal fictions from sea onto land. Brackets are used to keep us safe from warring foreign alien invaders bound under war bond or otherwise.
Now, I disagree with that, because you can have a court reporter, no problem at all, who says that they are coming from the sea to the land. We've always had court reporters.
Right, but why are they even talking about sea to land on this?
Because they're talking about the court clerk and court reporters. All right, all that came from Admiralty law. So they're using their foremen and forewomen from their council and their clerks from their council who work with them to tally the minutes and the recordings of every court that happens. So they
Isn't
are
there
in
a con-
charge of all the minutes of the court.
So that's a conflict of interest, isn't it?
I would say so.
Well, no, what way I rephrase that is that foreign entities can enter your boundary if you don't follow their jurisdiction.
Right.
Pretty much what I see. What do you think? I don't know.
So it's a
Try-
contradiction. It's a
I'm
contradiction.
trying to put this in simple terms.
Yep.
So what this means that a foreign entity has ownership over you on your own jurisdiction, even though you're being harmed, they have a rule of their common law over you.
Yep.
That makes sense,
Yep.
Elizabeth?
Okay, but it's natural law they're using.
They're not using natural law here.
They're
No.
not using it.
Well,
They're
that's what I mean.
calling
They're
it
calling
that,
it
but they're
natural
not,
law, but they're not really using it.
they're not at all.
No,
Okay,
so
I understand what they're saying there then. Yeah, I get that.
Okay, go on.
Okay. D, local county settlement agreement in the county of Yeo
No, no, no.
authorizes.
You
Oh,
already read
sorry,
that.
already read that. E, local county settlement agreement in the county of Yeo authorizes local peaceful council in council for the special law use of direct presentment of notice, information warrants, or orders under D.
Okay, well,
Zero.
special law. What special law?
I
What
don't
is special
know.
law?
What is that? Let's see.
Is that
what-
the law they make up?
Let me look
Admiral
it up.
law.
Let me look it up.
Special law.
Let me go with special law. What does that mean?
Is that a law that they make up on the fly?
I don't know what that means. What is special law?
Well, it's called
Special
species
law
law.
Is
You go
one
ahead.
that confers particular privileges or imposes particular disabilities or burdensome conditions in exercise of common right upon a class of persons.
Wow.
It's common law.
Sure is.
Whole document is just total bullshit, eh?
Yep.
That's
Total
common.
enslavement.
Totally.
Well, I know it's coming out. So special law means they can create a law or rewrite a law that fits their agenda.
Yeah.
Yep.
So even though you're right or wrong, even if you're right, they have the special ability to create a special law to prove you wrong.
Right.
Oh, what a horrible document.
It is.
Okay, well,
It's
we already
terrible.
know what these ones are. We gonna continue reading or go down?
Yep.
Yeah, we're
down.
gonna go through the whole thing and we're gonna publish it all. You know why?
Well, we gotta get going because it's getting pretty long.
Yep. Okay, here we go. Local peaceful council in council for the special law use of direct presentment of notice information warrants or orders under de jure operational law to the specific chief justice liable and responsible for the actions of judges and courts within the
Okay,
respective.
there
chief-
again. Okay, pause. We don't have judges because judges can be bought and paid for.
Yeah.
Judges cannot rule over a
Well, there
man.
are no judges in natural law.
Right.
Well,
So,
they're saying this.
I know
Yeah.
that,
So a
but all
judge,
I gotta say, if they're following natural law, there are no judges in natural law. That should answer the question right here. They're not following natural law.
they're
no, they're
not.
following judges. So judges
And when they say
will create the
Canadian-
system.
Yeah, here we
Oh,
go.
here we
Okay.
go. Read the last part
Within the
there.
respective chief justice jurisdiction or direct presentment to the de jure or de facto Canadian Supreme Court.
Like, why would you even mention that? Isn't it null
Yes.
and void as soon as you become sovereign?
So obviously they are really playing, oh man.
And this was written by Stacy.
No, this was not written by Stacy.
Well, it was copied by Stacy.
Oh yeah, Stacy couldn't write shit. You know that, right?
Oh, don't start
Article-
that. Okay, we're going to record it.
Article 5, Section 1. Local county settlement agreement in County of Yale authorizes, establishes original peaceful lawful council for the writing and the publishing of A, rules and procedures for the peaceful lawful councils. B, rules and procedures for local jural council meetings. C, rules and procedures for the de jure grand jury convening to decide issues brought before it by the sovereigns of County of Yale and with knowledge. D, rules and procedures for the council using local peaceful council etiquette in council. F, glossary or dictionary for remedial speech therapy of terms and phrases used. What? G, maintenance of local county settlement agreement in the County of Yale libraries of local councils to hold and keep safe local agreement of the County of Yale records, official records of acts and actions performed by original peaceful lawful council, local grand jury council, local peaceful council in council, and other related documents. That's all gobbledygook. Section 2, local county settlement agreement in the County of Yale directs the original peaceful lawful council to execute, witness, and officially record the true tally of ratification freely given by sovereigns living on land in the County of Yale and other places on land who consented in original peaceful lawful council for the ratification or consented to open witnessed absentee ratification proxies.
Okay.
Well,
It's all legalese.
I can sum that up in about 3 sentences. You're consenting to give your freedom away to a foreign entity, to a jury of the bar association. I can't use Freemasons because I can't use that word. So you literally have no rights, and the entire
Okay, just wait. Read this next one, Article 6.
Article 6. The sovereigns in public council with intent to restore lawful government and lawful courts in the County of Yale do hereby restore natural law courts and de jure government by lawful notice. No lawful courts are currently being exercised, and the courts and process imposed upon the sovereigns in the County of Yale are based in despotic foreign civil law. Being a sham, we therefore claim our position of lawful keepers of the public trust, implied by our position as tactic procurator, and by the expressed intent through delegation of authority by the signatories hereto.
Oh my God.
Wow.
So they just basically started with natural law and ended with common.
Yep.
no, they actually lied to you at the very beginning. At the very end of it,
Yeah.
they've created a dictatorship again.
Yep.
Wow.
Oh, move on. Oh,
I love
like I
this
said-
wording here.
like I said,
This wording here. Delegation of authority by the signatories here too.
Yeah,
That says a lot.
it does. Does a whole lot.
Wow. That is Admiralty speaking.
Yes, it is.
like I said, the whole document was written by the Freemasons. The Freemasons wrote the United States Constitution, right, to ensure
Yep.
that they would have freedom of the people. This whole document is written by the Freemasons, so I'm starting to really question what's this? What the fuck is this group called?
Sorry?
Land Council of the County of Yale.
No, the other one there, the Kim, the Kim.
Life Force
the-
Global?
the
Right.
Life Force
What are you
Global,
talking
yeah.
about? What are you talking about? Anyways,
Well, that's what I'm saying. So if Life Force can't see this shit, there's something going
Well,
on here.
there's different people in Life Force too. And I think that they're not all agreeing. I think they've been having their own disagreements of what I've been hearing. So
There's no life in this agreement. This is a life executioner.
and they're
they don't
having
want-
different agreements, and different councils are having different things. Like, for instance, from Spain, they had a very big disagreement and about some of the documents that were sent to them, and they felt that it would never work with, not Spain, South America somewhere, not Spain, Brazil. Anyways, and they came in and said, these documents are not going to work for us. We don't like the wording of this. We want to get away from this.
Whoever wrote this document in British Columbia better get the fuck out of my country.
Okay, well, anyway,
Seriously.
all right, just let me finish. So what
Okay, go on.
happened there is they decided when they got to talking, it wasn't just Tank, it was there were other other people involved in this, and they decided, look, adopt your documents to what your country is, and just go with that. You do not have to follow these documents word for word. If it does not work for you, then you make it your own. If it's too much of a common law for you and you want to go with more natural law, then you do it yourself. That is what that fellow Martin said. Okay.
Well, this is our document.
This was written. This is documents coming from.
So this document was written by Kevin Annett for the CIA.
Well, whatever. You don't know
Well,
that.
whatever. I mean,
Just saying
seriously.
that
I'm not,
it doesn't matter what we think. This is what they're believing. Now we've got to tell people that yes, they're mentioning natural law, but they have no understanding what natural law is even about.
Nope.
Otherwise, they would not be combining it with common and admiralty.
Yeah, really.
this whole entire document so far tells you half truths and no truths.
Yep.
And then it's a
You have
bunch
to
of
be-
words.
You have to be specific, because when other people are reading this, for instance, Larry, I would love to talk to him, ask him about this, because he's obviously joined in. And I wanted to ask him why.
I don't know why if Larry can't see this as an enslavement document, then Larry's got to pause for a second here. Oh, he's going to kill his children.
Dallas,
Well, I'm just being
that is
honest.
what people do not want to hear. They want to hear what this actually is all about. If
Well,
you start
we're
talking
trying
that way to them, they turn right off. They don't listen.
Yep.
Okay.
They don't. They turn it right off. They don't want to hear that.
Remember, lead them with truth, not with innuendo, not with attack.
They don't like that. And I've been told that by many. And so the thing to do, if we're going to go through this and actually point out what is wrong, yes, you know the facts, Dallas, and I respect your knowledge very much. But a lot of sovereigns do not understand Masons. They do not understand how do I put it, Dwight?
Well, they're not, okay. Again, I said it before. Everybody is at a different level of being educated right now. You have to think about who is the one that you're feeding. You don't feed a baby solid food.
Well,
You
no, I'm
have
not
to
worried
give
about that. I'm not worried about
No,
that.
no,
We have
but
young
understand,
adults reading this.
right?
They'll understand
But
that. But when they see natural law, they're thinking natural law by what we've told them.
And that's where they need. That's where they need.
And so they're
Honestly.
reading this, and all they're going to see is natural law. Oh, well,
So
that
I'm
is what
gonna-
Elizabeth was speaking about. It must be good.
So I'm gonna tell people right now. Okay, for those that are out there who may see this, you need to get educated on natural law. There's very few sources out there that can actually
all you
explain
got to
it.
remember about natural law.
Hang on, let me finish. There's very few sources out there that have done the research enough to know exactly what natural law is. So for those out there in Facebook land, whoever hear this, you need to go to constitutionalconventions.ca, get onto our interim training. Elizabeth is one of the most knowledgeable people I have come across when it comes to natural law. And why do I say that? Because she's done her research. She has done it diligently, and she's done it for over the last year and probably longer than that. I don't know, but I've watched her for a year.
Listen to me. Elizabeth has excelled at natural law.
Yeah.
There's another gentleman named Rick, Mark Passio. There's
Well,
numerous
Mark
people.
Passio surpasses me. He has been
But
doing
here,
this for
but
years.
again, when I look at this document that we're reading right now,
Can
and
I
what
just
I
say
see
three
in
things?
this, they
I'm gonna
have
say
no
three things.
idea what natural law is.
I'm going to say
Because
three
it-
things. If you're
Okay.
reading, this is going to all the people who's going to listen to this. If you are reading this document and you think it's natural law, then these are the things that should be in it. All right. You don't, if you're reading this document and it's talking about judges, that's not natural law. If you're reading this document and it's talking about 12 jurors plus one, that's not natural law. All
No, it's not.
jurors in natural law make a unanimous decision. They do not come out until they've made a unanimous decision on guilty or not guilty. That's natural law. Natural law, a juror is hired by the sovereigns, not by a council. In natural law, yes, they have it in here, no harm. Yes, very important. No harming another sovereign, no frauding another sovereign, and no stealing and taking and making loss of another sovereign. All right, that also includes all living systems. We are to respect all living systems. In this document, while you're reading it, it talks about having injury and having remedies. Yes, in natural law, there are remedies, but the process is the most important. And the process to remedy comes from the grand jury with the knowledge of the injured party and what their request is. That's natural law. The injured party has a say in the remedy, and the grand jury will take that into consideration when they bring down the sentence and the verdict for the wrongdoer. In these documents, the injured party has no say, as far as what I'm reading. In their court system, the injured party has no say. And the grand juries are what? Specially educated to be a juror and only selected by the council.
The special industry is bought and paid for.
Well, they're selected by the council. So they're
Well, I
not
just thought-
actually hired by the
They're
sovereigns.
bought and paid for.
Well, no, don't say that. They're not bought and paid for. They are hired by the councils, not the sovereigns. And in natural law, all jurors are hired by the sovereigns.
With
It all
accountability.
comes down to that. So all I'm telling anybody who's listening to this,
Honorable.
that is
honorable
what
and-
it means.
Yeah, honorable
The
and
sovereigns have to
accountability.
say, not the councils.
That's right.
Okay, I've had my say. That's natural law. That's down basically it. Done.
Thank you. Okay, Article 8. This County of Yale Settlement Agreement hereby establishes a county general council for the benefits and purposes of the sovereigns of the region. Such council is open to all the inhabitants of the county who choose to return to being free sovereigns on the land. They may become electors and jury pool members for the de jure grand juries, both provincial and federal level, to provide due process of law and equal protection under natural law for all people. The juries and all other lawful process accepted are to provide remedies for injured parties and loss of property, rights, or liberty. The members in council shall provide a venue and a forum to convene court, to decide structures of offices and the function of administrative personnel, and to discuss other business concerning the grand and petite juries. Calling to order, form of council, maintenance of records, and other business of the sovereigns are further delineated below.
And again,
Uh,
let me mention, there are no petite juries in natural
Thank you.
law.
Thank you. I was just gonna bring that up with you. Because under natural law, we only have grand jury. That's right.
That's it. There are no petite juries.
Thank you. Article 9. The sovereigns of this county of Yale do hereby affirm and establish our lawful right to appoint or elect our delegate to be sent to the House of Delegates for British Columbia, a free and independent nation province. We will interact on equal footing with the other counties designated in accordance with the agreement for British Columbia, a free and independent nation province, as a county to elect a statesman or stateswoman to be sent to the House of States to represent the designated county.
Oh my God.
This so much sounds like what we have in play right now.
This sounds like the United States.
This is
100%.
This is
Wow.
this is their governor.
yeah. A free sovereign living on the
A
county.
delegate.
Yeah. Shall be
Represent
appointed or
the-
elected as a delegate to British Columbia, a free and independent state, House of Delegates.
That is the United States.
Yep. So they're mixing everything into this, like a big mixture of porridge or whatever, and hoping that it comes out sounding so good that
So they're going right
sovereign-
back into the whole, they may not be
Absolutely.
admiralty law, but they're basically taking this form of the American political system.
a free sovereign living in the
So they're
designated
going
county
to
shall
become
be,
the 51st state?
sounds like it, shall be elected as statesman or stateswoman to be seated in the House of States to freely provide for any and all responses to a lawful manner on all issues that may pertain to business concerning the county, to wit. Wow.
There's no way Stacy from British Columbia wrote this. This was written by the Bilderberg Group.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
got to be
This
written
is
by
written
somebody.
by
Wow.
a member of the U.S. Council in New York and in Florida. That's who wrote this. Most of their box of documents came from Florida and New York.
So they just copy pasted.
Yeah, they did. I told you that. They took it and they just put in natural law
My
in Canada.
gosh.
Yeah,
Put in
like I
natural
said,
law in British Columbia.
I've talked to Stacy B in British Columbia and the other three there, Kirsten, whatever. They couldn't write this. They have no idea what they're reading. They're just copy and pasting.
That's
Unbelievable.
basically what I see. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Section 1, there shall be established a limit of one lawful delegate for the purpose of providing hearings and responsibles in a lawful manner on all issues related to decision-making and communications between the local county level and the provincial level, being that of British Columbia, a free and independent nation province, on governance matters. The
On
delegate shall,
governance.
yeah, how come
Governance.
they're
Governance.
always going to governance again?
Yep. So you cannot have natural law. You cannot have any society.
If we're governed,
governance.
we're not free. If we're governed,
That's
we're
right.
not free.
100%.
That term in and of itself, okay? And people, please, out there,
Oh, read the
Stop.
next paragraph, please.
okay? The delegate shall be selected from the free sovereigns inhabiting the county to be appointed as delegate to provide the responses of the sovereigns in the Provincial General Council of British Columbia, a free and independent nation province, and to the national level in a lawful manner on all issues regarding the safety and welfare of the people. The delegate is essential to the free exercise of duties and decision-making processes, including but
No,
not
see, there again, the delegate does not decide nothing. The sovereigns
no, he's
decide.
not.
All they're setting up is another bullshit electoral system.
Yep.
Where the power is the top level.
Yep.
Without any accountability to themselves.
Yep. So we'll do this again. But not limited to communications and interactions between the local council and British Columbia, a free and independent nation province levels, and by and between the local levels to the national level, in order to maintain proper and comprehensive maintenance and implementation of the sovereign's lawful business. Section
Well, they
2.
have that worded kind of right, because that is what our nation administrators will be doing.
Right.
Yeah, but but there was 3 words in there that were very explicit. The delegate
The delegate.
makes
Good.
makes the responsible decision. No, he does not. The delegate reports back to the sovereign. The
Yep.
delegate only administers what the sovereign says. Careful on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they got here, the delegates making the decisions.
So they're using delegates as politicians. That's
Yeah.
called what they are.
Well, that's what a
Well,
statesman, stateswoman is.
Yep.
That's right.
Politician.
Yeah.
Section 3. Any seated office holders can request from the library
No,
records.
no. Section 2.
Did I miss something?
Yes, section.
Oh, sorry. Section 2, there shall be establishment of one lawful statesman or stateswoman representing the county as designated by the numbered or named county. The statesman or stateswoman will represent the sovereigns within the county in the Hall of States for the purpose of providing hearings and responses in a lawful manner on all issues related to a decision-making and communications between the local county level and British Columbia, a free and independent nation state governance. The statesman or stateswoman shall be selected from free sovereigns inhabiting the areas in the county to be represented and to provide the responses of the sovereigns in the county general councils to British Columbia, a free and independent nation state, and the national level in a lawful manner on all issues regarding the safety and welfare of the sovereigns of Canada. The statesman or stateswoman is essential to the free exercise of duties and decision-making processes, including but not limited to the communications and interactions between the local county and British Columbia, a free and independent nation state level, and by and between the local levels to the national level in order to maintain proper and comprehensive maintenance and implementation of the sovereign's lawful business.
Well, that
Section
just
3.
says right there what he's supposed to do, or she.
Yep. Section 3, any seated office holders can request from the library records a county-specific General Council rule book and convene a county grand jury as the originator. The procedure for such a council shall be the same as provided for in Article 7 of the Agreement of British Columbia, a free and independent nation province. Article 7, grand and petite juries. Article
There are
10.
no petite juries in, and
Holy fuck. And and then they mentioned the foreign corporation called Canada again. They keep mentioning Canada.
Always.
Yeah.
The sovereigns recognize.
How can you be independent if you're connected to a thing called the Corporation of Canada Inc.?
well,
You can't.
we'll go on and they'll tell us how.
Yeah, the sovereigns recognize the necessity of establishing an office that shall provide for the defense of the sovereign's rights, land, and law in the county. Said office shall be titled Office of the Sergeant of Arms of the County of Yale. The title of sergeant.
So the sergeant at arms is the one that shot that fake bullshit crap that happened in Ottawa, right?
Probably. Yep.
Oh, it was
Yep.
a little false
Title
flag.
of- Yep. The title of Sergeant of Arms shall be conferred upon the individual who is elected by majority vote of the electors of the county general council.
So stop there, that one, did you hear what they just said?
Yep.
They just said that they are going to vote in their own sergeant of arms in from the only councils, that the sovereigns have no say who their sergeant of arms are, who are going to manually
Right.
uphold the law in the county of Yale.
Yep. So who has the power in this? It sure ain't the sovereigns.
Council. The
Yeah, it's not
General
the sovereigns,
Council.
it's the council.
Yeah,
So this is called elite rule again.
to hold such office for a period of time to be 3 years.
Issues as to the methods of operation, structure, duties, methods of management, and all other pertinent and appropriate issues pertaining to the establishment, maintenance, and function of such office and the office holder shall be determined by a committee created for such purpose. Upon the submission of the final report of recommendations by said committee, the County of Yale General Council shall discuss, modify if required, and vote, adopt, and enter it into the county records to create and implement the office of Sergeant of Arms as called for by this article. This is nuts because number one, it's taken every part of natural law out. The sovereigns are the ones that vote, hire, and fire. These guys are taking all the control themselves.
Continue on, Dwight.
Upon the submission of the final report of recommendations by said committee, the County of Yale General Council shall discuss, modify if required, and vote, adopt, and enter into the county records to create and implement the office of Sergeant of Arms as called for by this article. Article 11. The sovereigns, by these articles, establish county offices to administer the affairs of the sovereigns in common. Such offices are empowered with certain delegated limited powers as the people deem just for the maintenance and function of county administration. The following is a limited and initial outline of the structure of such offices and shall be further detailed and expanded upon by a select committee formed for such purpose and upon the submission of the final report of recommendations. The County of Yale Settlement Council shall discuss, modify, if required, adopt such recommendations and enter it into the county records to create and implement the offices of the County of Yale administration as called for by this article. The following list comprises the initial offices to be filled by proper election by qualified electors of this County of Yale Settlement Council. 1, Township Supervisor, 1 per township in the region. 2, Sergeant at Arms, 1, Chief Justice, 1, 4, Chief Justice of the Peace, 1, 5, Township Justice of the Peace, usually 4 per township. 6, County Library of Records Secretary, 1, 7, County Recording Clerk, 1, 8, County Land Records Title Abstract Clerk, 1, 9, County Treasurer, Comptroller, 1, 10, County Grand Jury Foreman, 1, 11, County Notary, 1. Further offices to be created and filled shall be identified by the above referenced committees as from time to time are required to properly fulfill and maintain proper administration of the sovereign's requirements for governance in the County of Yale Settlement Council. No member of the legal industry is qualified to hold any office designated and established for the administration of county business. The exception to this is for a legal industry member to surrender their Canadian Bar Association CBA membership and be out of the legal industry for 15 years and pass a natural law exam as required by the Agreement of British Columbia, a free and independent nation province.
They have to, the Canadian Bar, no member, they said?
No
Okay.
member of the
Okay, that's good.
Article 2. This agreement shall become lawfully established upon the unanimous acceptance and ratification of the living sovereigns gathered in the County of Yale Settlement Council, who have convened to review, accept, and ratify by the placement of their autographs as provided for below. After acceptance of this agreement, any and all amendments and addendums that the sovereigns see fit to make to this agreement shall be drawn up and presented to the County of Yale Settlement Council body of electors of this county, as may from time to time be deemed necessary and appropriate. The passage and inclusion of any amendment to this agreement shall be by a minimum of 3/4 vote, 75% of all qualified electors of the body of this County of Yale Settlement Council. All articles in this agreement shall remain intact and all addendums shall be made as attachments, so a complete and continuous record shall be maintained.
Well, they did keep the 75%.
Glad they kept that part, yeah.
Yeah.
Article 13, in witness whereof the sovereigns of County of Yale settlement, in co-joint action with all other lawful established county settlements in British Columbia, a free and independent nation province, in accord and express trust with the other councils of Canada, in the presence of our source creator, who has so endowed us with the authority to enact as we have herein to do declare by our autographs as evidence of a living substance, and as set forth below, is County of Yale settlement agreement for the sovereigns assembled in council on the free dry soil of the County of Yale in British Columbia, a free and independent nation state. This county settlement agreement of, by, and for the sovereigns of the County of Yale shall be open for continuing acceptance by all sovereigns who ratify of their own free will and volition, and who place their autographs onto a copy of same, and have such placed along with their declaration of unalienable rights in inherent power into the library of records has provided for herein. Autographs
Oh,
and
I'll pause you there. You know why? Because that group is a hidden group. Only them group can go to that room. It's their own private little group. They don't represent anybody but themselves. They are not transparent with anything, and they've never been transparent. I'll say it directly right out. So
Okay.
when you question their bullshit, they get mad and angry. They're no different than Justin Trudeau. No transparency. You just say it the way it is. Sorry.
Dwight? Are you gone?
oh, sorry, I got muted. I muted myself. Autographs and seals. We, the sovereigns, lawfully convened on the day set forth below, do hereby mark our autographs and ratify these articles of establishment of the County of Yale settlement agreement. We stand on the authority as set forth above, and by our declaration of unalienable rights, held in inherent powers executed by our autographs and seals, we do hereby ratify this agreement in the presence of our source creator, with whom all glory and power does reside, and to whom we humbly present this agreement for supreme ratification, and ask for the blessings that flow forth from divine providence to guide, nurture, and protect the undertakings of this lawful council and the sovereigns in general. These undertakings have been established, certified, and confirmed on the land so that current and future generations will enjoy the fruits of their labor and the bounty of the land uninhibited and unbound, so that all in this one nation assembled and together with all nations conjoined in harmony shall abide in such as the abundance of the divine hand shall bless us with now and forever. Confirmed by British Columbia, a free and independent nation province. Office holders, effective date, chief trustee, da. And there's the rest. Oh, here's the appendix. And this is the median boundaries of the County of Yale. All that portion of British Columbia contained within the following boundaries is to be known as the County of Yale. Commencing at the point of intersection of the southerly boundary of the province with the westerly boundary of the watershed of July Creek, thence northerly along said boundary to the intersection thereof with the southerly boundary of lot 1580S, similar division of Yale Land District, thence easterly, northerly, and westerly along the boundaries of said lot to the northeast corner of lot 1579S, thence westerly along the northerly boundary of lot 1575S to the southeast corner of lot 2376S, thence northerly along the easterly boundaries of lots 236 or 2376 south and 2374 south, 2500 south and 2490.
This is all irrelevant.
This
shit,
is
right?
bullshit. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
all garbage. We don't
Look
need
how
that.
long it is.
Yep,
That's their township.
that's their township. Well, we don't need that. Okay,
Okay,
there we go.
one more left
That's
today.
it. That's it. Thank
One more
you.
left.
Aligning hearts and minds, getting to know you. A few thoughts on how we know you're serious and making changes in the world. Due to the uncharted nature of the journey we are embarking on together, it would seem necessary that a deeply divine and ingrained sense of righteousness must be the light that draws sovereigns to the decision to volunteer to be a council member. As sovereigns, we do not take our responsibilities to our families and children lightly. They are the light and the truth of the existence of source. Just look into the eyes of innocence of a child and you will reaffirm that your path is to protect and serve your residents with other members on that predicate alone.
The whole entire this is just eradicate bullshit because
This is garbage. This is garbage.
Yeah.
And these are the questions they're going to ask of you if you want to be a council member.
Okay. So, okay, let's read these. Please answer the following questions and send back. How is life important to you? List 8 and order them from most important to least important. How is being part of this movement important to you? List 8 and order them from most important to least important. What will happen if you make changes? What will happen if you do not make changes? What would prevent you from making changes? Is there anything that would prevent you from being an active member in group, committee, council, assembly? What are you best at? What are you worst at? What do you see yourself doing? Or where do you feel you would best fit moving forward? On a scale of 1 to 10, how open are you to new and different information? 1 being closed and 10 being wide open. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate yourself in terms of understanding of the current worldwide state of politics, health, money, media, environment? Number 12, what do you see as the changes that we the people need to make? 13, what will not happen if we do not make changes? 14, what do you feel will happen if we the people do not make changes? 15, do you currently work for a corporation? Yes, no. If yes, which one? 16, do you currently work for any government or government agency? Yes, no. If yes, which one?
That's it.
That's it.
We're
There you
done.
go. Thank you.
Now I know what their constitution is, and that is their regional settlement agreement. That's their constitution.
And that's not a constitution.
No, it's not. So are we going to stop recording?
yeah, we'll stop recording, then we'll publish it. 'Cause the whole entire thing is a bunch of bullshit. You know it's bullshit. Suck more people into being slaves, so the entire document is pretty